This is my favorite way to make beans and rice. All right, so beans and rice is like one of the more affordable, ubiquitous, and easy to make things that you probably have all the stuff in your house already.
Sure, we're gonna add a few extra ingredients that's going to elevate it just so much, but it's still super affordable.
So what are we starting with?
We're starting with 1 carrot and half an onion.
And I'm just gonna dice these up pretty small. Nothing too fancy, but fairly small. All right, so I just cut it in half and then cut each of those. I mean, for this, I'll probably just do a little bit more radial cut like that, just to make them a little bit smaller. And then just pile them all together and dice it up. You want to curl your fingers back. I have problems with that because of arthritis in my hands, but ideally you want to do this. And just make a nice little dice.
We don't peel our carrots, but we do scrub them thoroughly with a dedicated veggie brush.
Yep, which by dedicated she means don't use it to scrub something that something burned on, because we had to get a new veggie brush. I'm not saying who did it. It was me. Same for the onion. I just want it to be a small dice. So just...
Now, in a second part, we're going to use another half an onion, so you can have a full onion to start off with and use the 2 halves separately, but we already had half an onion in the fridge, so we're going to end up again with another half an onion in the fridge.
We always seem to have half of something in the fridge. I don't know how that happens. Now, this recipe will serve 4 people pretty comfortably. You can cut it in half and make less. The rice cooking time may change if you do that. At this point, if you're going to be using garlic for your garlic, you can skip ahead to the next step. If you're not, you want to get out about 3 cloves of garlic and do a fine mince on that too. But for now, we're going over the stove. All right, I'm going to put our stove to 5.75, maybe 5.76, and just get a large saucepan heating up. And in goes the veg. I know I should wait until it's fully heated and all that. I never do. But I do want to start moving stuff around. I want to make sure it's nice and spread out in the pan, break up those onions just a little bit more, because they don't always break up nicely. And we're going to cook that until the onions are pretty much translucent, about probably 5 to 8 minutes or so. All right, you might have noticed that I did not add the garlic. And if you even diced your own, you probably didn't want to add it yet because it'll burn. So now I'm just going to add a good 2 tablespoons, 2.5, maybe 3 tablespoons of garlic, because we like garlic.
The reason why we're adding it at this point is that you can see that the onions are slightly translucent. That means they've released a lot of their liquid, so that liquid barrier will hopefully prevent our garlic from burning.
But the veg is almost ready. We just want to cook the garlic a couple more minutes, and then we'll be ready for the next step. The next thing we're going to add is the rice. Now, what did you do with this rice, and how much do we have?
So that's 1.5 cups of long grain white rice, and I rinsed it thoroughly. So basically, if you have a colander like we do, and you hold it underneath the spigot, you shake it around until the water runs clear, you know all that excess starch that's just hanging out on the surface is out of there.
And dust and whatnot. There's always something in there that you really don't want to eat. If you don't want to run it under water, you can just put it in a bowl of water in the colander, shake it around a little bit, and then rinse that bowl out a couple times. It usually takes 3 or 4 or 5 times sometimes until the water is just about clear, but you want to do that because it helps with the next step that we're going to do with the rice. Okay, just before things look like they're about to burn, throw in your rice.
Now notice the only liquid that's in this pan right now is what was exuded from the vegetables. So we're kind of toasting everything.
Yeah, toast that rice. Just a couple of minutes. You don't want to get too much color on it, and you don't want that garlic to burn before we add any more liquid.
I wish we had smell-o-vision already because this smells fantastic.
Okay, when you start seeing that your rice is sticking ever so slightly and looking like it might be toasting a little, that's when we're gonna start adding in the next ingredients. The first one is some tomato sauce. This is just an 8-ounce can of plain old tomato sauce, no salt added. And I'm just gonna dump that right in. But look at how much is still left inside there. Thankfully, the next step is we're gonna add 2 cups of water. So I'm gonna use that water to rinse out the can. Oh, there's still more. And then mix that around. What else goes in here?
We need some flavor, so it's time for our chickenless chicken bouillon.
Yeah, I like this brand. It does have quite a bit of sodium in it. That's why I don't like to add other salt to things. We're just gonna use 2 teaspoons of this, and I'm gonna eyeball it. I put this in seitan and things like that. It works really great. Nice flavor. That's about 2 teaspoons. Mix that through. And what you can do if you don't want to use the bouillon like that is just use like veggie broth instead of water. And that way you have a broth already, but I'm kind of mixing the broth in the pan, so to speak. So this way you get a lot of nice flavors. You can also just use poultry seasoning with veggie broth and you probably get a similar flavor too. What's next?
Black pepper to taste.
For this, I don't know, nice pinch. Don't need much. And then
So we're gonna add some more flavor to our flavor base, and that's with some frozen veg. We have a cup of corn and a cup of peas.
they're still frozen. I just want to kind of spread them out on the surface,
Get
break
rid of
up the
those
big chunks.
icicles of veg.
Yeah. And then I want to turn the heat down to, okay, our stove, if you put it to low, it might as well be off. I don't know why, but it did this the other day to me. So I'm just going to put it to like 2.23, and then I'm going to put a lid on it for about a half an hour.
So now it's time to prep for the beans. Even though eventually they're all gonna be together, we like to cook them separately because they have slightly different techniques involved.
Well, I like to do it where they are separate. Some people mix them all together. I don't like to do that.
The base of the rice mixture topped with the base of I guess it wouldn't be base, the beans.
Beans, yeah. So we said half an onion for the beans. I found a little teeny tiny baby onion, so I'm calling that half. So if you have little teeny tiny baby onions, just use 1 onion each for the rice and the beans. And all this paper and stuff that I'm peeling off of it, what are we gonna do with that?
That's gonna go in our broth bowl. We make our own homemade veggie broth from kitchen scraps, and that's what we're gonna do with that.
And every time we mention that and someone goes and watches the video, they remind us how awesome it actually is. Derica does this, like once every few weeks or so?
Yeah.
She ends up making a batch of it. And it stores in the freezer. It works really well for everything. I use it instead of oil for cooking. So I just throw some in the pan. This particular recipe, if you needed it, you could use it, but so far I haven't really needed any. Again, just a fine dice on the onion. Just get that little piece that was in the middle there. And my rule of thumb for cutting with a knife is if you end up with the same number of fingers that you started with, you did it right. Rule of thumb, get it? That was a pre-made joke. I didn't even think about it.
Now you may be able to see that there's a little bit of green in the interior of this onion, and that's because it was getting ready to re-sprout or hadn't finished its growing cycle. It is okay to use that in onions, but if you see that in garlic, you don't want to use it because it's really bitter.
Yeah, and we just bought this onion today. So, it's not like it's past its prime. Well, it might be.
Yeah, but the green parts of onions don't taste bitter. They just taste like scallions.
Oh, okay. Learn something every day. And now 1 green bell pepper. And I love adding this to the beans. I think it adds a nice little freshness. And I cut them different every single time. This time, I'm going to cut along the seams upside down, and it comes out in thirds, just like that.
It's got the mutant bell pepper inside the bell pepper thing going on.
I'm keeping it. We're going to eat that. And then I just peel out the innards and the mutant bell pepper and a pepper. Peel off some of the pithy stuff. Not that it's bad. I just, I cut the pepper in 3 perfectly. The pepper and a pepper. And then,
Do you want me to get the broth bowl so this is out of the way?
no, I'm good. Okay. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. This is how I do things all the time. So if you change it, I'll be out of sync with how I normally do things. And again, just going with a small dice, just like we did on the other veg. Okay, we got our peppers and onions prepped over the stove. Time to cook them up. All right, I'm putting the burner to 5.72. No, that's more like 5.82. I was wrong. Okay, get that nice and hot. Start throwing in the veg. Yeah, I preheated the pan.
You hear that sizzle, right? That's actually what you'd like to hear each time you put veg into a pan. We should have had that going on the first pan, but hey.
It all works out. It's okay. Too many people get too caught up in you have to do it this way or you have to do it that way. I do it as long as it works and I like it. That's what matters. And same story. We just want to get these veggies cooked down a little bit, get them moving around in the pan, and give them a couple minutes. And after a couple of minutes, I can see that it's already starting to cook down. It's time for some garlic or minced garlic. About a tablespoon. That's probably a tablespoon and a half. So use like 2 more cloves of garlic. If you don't like garlic, well, I'm not sure we can be friends anymore. But if you don't like garlic, you don't have to use it, or you can use a lot less. We just happen to really like it, and it adds a lot of flavor. And mix that around. Just as things are pretty much just starting to stick is when we're going to add in the next ingredients. And that would be the beans. And we're using black beans, no salt added. Now, these happen to have the pull top, which I think is great. But one thing you're not going to see us do, we don't drain them. Get all the juice. You like it a juice. Put it all in there. I have done this before in another video, and it just works so well. Now there's still some beans in that can. There's still some juice stuck to the sides. So I got about 3/4 of a cup of water here that I'm going to put in that can. Swirl it around carefully. Don't let it leak. And then dump it all out. Look at that. Clean can. No more beans. And then mix this through really well. I still have it on the heat, by the way.
This really works best with black beans. For some reason, the black bean juice makes a fantastic sauce.
Yep.
You could use other beans, but the sauce might not be as nice.
Okay, now I got to add some flavorings to this because, you know, bell pepper is just not enough flavor for this. And I need some chili powder. I'm going to use 2 teaspoons. And I'm eyeballing because this is kind of forgiving. You can do more, you can do less. That's about 2 teaspoons. And then a teaspoon of cumin or cumin, however you like to say it. It's still the same thing, no matter how you say it. Yeah, that's about a teaspoon. And then 1 tablespoon of dried oregano. Now you notice the way I do this. I layer them on top of each other so I can kind of relatively see how much of each thing I'm adding. And then we mix. And it'll start to bubble and it'll start to cook down, and just play with the temperature a little bit. Sometimes I'll turn it down to like 4-ish or so just to keep it from burning. But essentially this is all going to thicken up and turn into a nice sauce around those beans. Okay, so it's been maybe 10 minutes or so. And as you can see, it's thickening up really nicely. Now, something I want to talk about. If you want to, you could have added some chilies like chopped up jalapeno or anything like that to this. We don't, because we have some people in this house that don't like spicy food. But what I have done with this is taken some of this, like just, you know, a couple of scoops of it, put it in a separate pan, chop up some jalapenos and put it in there. And that way Derek and I could have a little bit of a spicy portion added to our beans, or just use hot sauce. This just needs another couple of minutes and everything will be ready. But as it turns out, the rice is almost ready too, almost like we planned it. All right, our timer for the rice has gone off. So what I want to do is just get in here with the tongs and move that around, and look at that. See, it shouldn't stick or anything like that. Yep, a little bit sticks sometimes, so I just give it a good scrape. Yeah, it comes off, okay. But I want to taste test it, see if it's cooked. It's done, perfect. I'm gonna turn the heat off, scrape off this tongs here, and get out a spatula because I want to scrape this pan. I want to get all around the edges and get all that rice off the bottom. There is a little bit stuck to the bottom here, but it's all right. Now the best part of every cooking video, we get to taste it. Now this is the way we like to serve it. We just put a bed of rice, put some of the beans over the top. You can garnish this any way you want. Salsa, hot sauce. We use Kite Hill yogurt, works as a great sour cream replacement, and it's lower fat. 3/4 of a cup is like 10 grams. So I don't use a lot of it, but a little bit here and there. I've also made Maury new sour cream that works really well on this.
But you can dress this up or keep it simple. It's gonna be great regardless.
Yep. This is probably the most flavorful beans and rice I've ever made. Just in general, this is really, really flavorful. Here we go. It's got great textures as well as flavors. And I think that goes so long when you look at food. If it doesn't have a good texture, like those peas pop and the corn has a little pop to it still. The carrots even have just the tiniest bit of give. And then the beans are not mush.
Right.
Could you do this with dry beans? Yes, it's just going to be a whole different way of doing it. That's why I like to do the canned beans for this. Just dump in their gravy that comes with them, and it works beautifully well.
I love cooking the rice this way rather than what we normally do in our Instapot, because it creates this whole new thing. It's like super creamy. It's almost like a risotto kind of sensation.
Okay, let's talk storage options if you didn't want to eat this all at one time. Keep it separate put them in separate containers, and I think you can keep this in the fridge for a while. I don't know about freezing it. I'd probably not freeze this. I don't think the rice is gonna do that well. But if you do put it in the fridge, you will get what's called resistant starch on both the beans and the rice. You'll have a little bit less effect on your blood sugar if you do it that way. I've not really tested that myself. I'm not worried about getting the extra starches. We go for the low fat thing. By the way, this is super low fat.
Reheating this as well, if you put it in the fridge, please do not microwave it. It's not going to heat evenly, and it may cause some parts of the rice in particular to be extra crunchy and other parts go to mush.
Put it in a pan, just like we did, add a little bit of extra water and heat it up, just nice and slow on the heating.
Or go one step further and add some of your homemade veggie broth.
There you go.
And that'll bump up the flavor as well.
And that's about all we got to say on this one, but make this. It's super easy, super affordable. We might even put the price of how much this costs right here. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on The Bistro.